Magazine puts together its list of the best restaurants in town. And this morning, right now, the big reveal. Editor-in-Chief John Fox joins us now with the magazine's top 10 best restaurants in Cincinnati. Highly anticipated list. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
First of all, tell us why you do this every year.
Well, we like to do it because a lot of people know some of the better restaurants in town. But what we try to do is every year we go back and we look at them with fresh eyes, go in and try new things so that restaurants just aren't sort of evaluated on their reputation or on who the chef is, but we're really in there evaluating fresh every year. So we go back to Boca every year, we go back to Soto every year, we go back to Abigail Street every year, and so the rankings, I hope that the readers understand the rankings are current. They're not just based on reputation.
Right, and people will have this magazine and they will use it as a reference.
Oh, they do. And I've met people who have taken our top 10 list and literally worked their way down the list and go try all these restaurants.
Speaking of the list, we're going to work up the list.
Okay, we're going
to say who the 10 are. We're going to start with number 10.
Number 10 is Orchids at Palm Court. Now, Orchids was not on our list last year. It's a perennial favorite, though. It's downtown, as everyone knows. But they were between chefs last year, so they have the new chef, George Zappis, who's been there for a while. But anyway, they're back. They're doing great work, so Orchids is number 10.
And Bouquet in Main Strasse is at number 9.
Bouquet in Main Strasse. They have been on our list before, and they're back on. They're a wonderful little spot.
All right.
Phoenician Taverna is number 8. They're up in Mason. They've been on our list before as well. They're a Middle Eastern restaurant, great spot. Boca number 7, which everyone knows about. Yeah. Boca in the old Masonette space. Number 6 is Abigail Street, which is in over the Rhine on Vine Street, and they've been on our list practically every year as well. Number 5 is a return as well. Nicola's up in Over the Rhine, Italian restaurant. They have a new chef, and they seem to have really kind of turned things around, and they're doing some really interesting things now.
Okay, at number 4, Restaurant L.
Restaurant L is Jean Robert's place, and Jean Robert is going to be here in a little bit, and he's going to talk about his restaurant. But everyone knows about Jean Robert, and he is probably the star of the Cincinnati restaurant scene.
Okay, number 3 and number 2, people are going to recognize as well.
Mitas, which is Jose Salazar. He just opened a new restaurant called Goose and Elder up at Finley Market. Number 2, Soto, which is part of the Boca group, and they were our number 1 restaurant last year. And then number 1 this year is Please, maybe.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that.
Okay, so it's in Over the Rhine. Ryan Santos, he used to do pop-up dinners in different places, and he finally got a storefront. He was named to our best new restaurant list 2 years ago, and has worked his way up, and now they're number 1 this year.
Tell me, there are so many restaurants around here that are doing good work, providing good food. Tell me about the process to weed it. It must be really, really difficult.
It is difficult, but what we focus on are what we call chef-driven restaurants. So these are restaurants either owned by chefs like Jean Robert or Daniel Wright at Abigail Street or Jose Salazar, or where the chefs just use a lot of creativity all the time. So when you go in there, you're going to be surprised. You don't know exactly what you're going to get. They also work with local ingredients. They have seasonal menus that change all the time. So if you think about that, the universe isn't huge there, but we start with probably 25 or 30 restaurants. And our restaurant critic goes to every one of them. He narrows it down to about 15. He goes back a second time, and then we narrow it down to a 10 list.
Do you keep it to the one critic?
The one critic. So we have consistent. He's the one who writes in our issue every month anyway. He knows what he's talking about. He's got a lot of experience. So it's not like we get together and vote on this. It's one critic's critical opinion.
Man, let me tell you.
And he's like this big. No, he's not. He eats a lot of food.
And I guess in trying to differentiate, because not only is he looking at what's the best now, I guess he is looking at why one may not be as good as it was before.
That's true.
And going through all of that in his own head.
Well, and if you think about it, why do you go to a restaurant? It's not always just the food. It's also it's the atmosphere. It's the sort of the buzz in the restaurant. It's the service. It's how you feel. I mean, really, so much of going out to a restaurant is about the overall experience as much as the food. And those things change over time. Sometimes new people, like I said with Nicola's, a new chef comes in, kind of brings a new energy, and then all of a sudden the menu gets reinvented and it sort of takes on a new buzz.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to reading all about it. And as you noted, Jean Robert from Restaurant L is going to cook for us in our next half hour.
So
awesome. Thanks so much for coming in.